All right, I'm going to talk about Casey. First thing I want you guys to do is I want to make sure that you have watched or are watching those videos. I know there's a lot of them, but most of them are super, super short and just giving you a visual and a little bit of instruction of what things should look like in terms of the structured walk and thresholds and the back tie and all those things. I do try and cover those things during these videos too, so that you're getting a couple different opportunities for me to talk about them and for you to kind of like learn about them. So without further ado, let me get because Finn was just playing fetch in the basement with me, and I had Casey on place right here, just trying to amp him up to see if I would get any kind of reaction whatsoever from him, and I didn't. He was really, really good. He stayed on place the whole time. He didn't try and break or join in or go after Finn or anything. And not that he's aggressive, I'm not saying that, but he might out of excitement go after Finn or something, or even me. But he was great. So he's really picking up his training very, very well. And we're just increasing distractions and trying to escalate situations so that he does. Now he's at the point in training where I'm trying to recreate some scenarios where he might actually go for someone so that I can correct him. And the reason that we want to do that is because I want to correct him if I do it right, and if the opportunity presents itself, it may be a one and done where he never thinks of doing it again. You just never know like how things will play out in training. So that's what he's been doing. That's why he's got the muzzle on, but he's been really, we've been training without the muzzle. Yesterday I took him for an outing to a local bank. It's an abandoned bank. So it's on the corner of a very busy street, and I will be posting some pictures of our walk. He walked alongside cars and like loud engines and all kinds of distractions. We did some recall in that parking lot, really trying to solidify that recall command. When your dog is out, you need to be able to call him back at a moment's notice. You might be calling him off of a bear or something where you guys live, or if he goes into a busy street or something, you need to be able to call him back. So we were practicing that. Where he's still a little bit nervous is in the car, and I don't know if he's nervous with you guys or if it's just because I drive a sedan. I don't have an SUV, so he's trying to figure out how to stay down in my back seat. What he tends to do is he'll try to get on the floor, and he can only sit on the floor, he can't lie down, and there's some whining going on too. So I don't know if he's just not a happy traveler or if he's just trying to figure out how in the world to work my car. But we have been practicing the down command in my car, and we'll continue to do that. It's like a little daily drill where we just go practice. He gets in, I put him in a down, and then I make him stay there while I walk around the car, and just kind of really getting him better at that. So that's kind of where we are with him. He's doing very, very well, and so next week we'll be doing he'll be doing some sort of field trip with me. I always like to hit the vet to see how they do, and I also do like to go to some sort of pet store, or maybe this guy, he's a big fella, so maybe I'll take him to Home Depot. I don't know. But wherever we go, I will have him muzzled up, just because people are crazy. They'll come up and try and pet your dog without asking, and that could elicit some bad behavior from him, just because he would be overwhelmed by that pressure. I've had people do that to me. You turn your back for a second and they'll swoop in and try and hug your dog, and it's not the right dog to be hugging. So, and besides that, I don't let anyone pet my students. So that's what we're doing, guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will be posting some of the work we did yesterday in the bank parking lot and also on that busy street. You guys, please make sure that you are printing out those go-home instructions that I sent you. They are lengthy for a reason. They're detailed. I know they're a little overwhelming with detail, but I figure you guys are adults, and you can streamline them as you will, and you're going to find your own way in this. When your dog comes home, you will find the best way for this to work for you. Maybe you want to work on 1 or 2 things on that do and don't list, right? Finn, knock it off with the whining, this guy. Casey's also a whiner, guys, and you're going to correct that with him using the e-collar at a level that makes him stop, because it's really just an annoying behavior, and it's an attention-seeking behavior, and it needs to stop. So print out the go-home instructions, read them over, get familiar with the commands. In fact, it's so important that you do that. I'm going to make a separate post just to remind you to please watch the videos before you come here. We will cover it all, but I want you guys prepared when you do come here. And you know, Kathy and Becky, I don't know if you're both coming to the first go-home session here. We could possibly do it. Next weekend's kind of tight. If you wanted to do a lesson next Sunday, we might be able to. I'm not sure about that though. If not, it'll be the next week. You'll come here for a lesson, and then either you'll take him home and I'll come up the next day for a lesson, or I'll bring him up the next day. I think it's going to depend on my schedule. So just start thinking about things, look at your schedules. I know there's Christmas outings and parties and shopping and all of that, so I need for you guys to just give me an idea of what works for you. But pretty soon he's going to be coming home. You know, it's not that far off, and he will be home before Christmas. All right, guys, have a good one. Happy Saturday. Say hi to your boy. He's doing fantastic.